2. That was one of the Game 7s last night. Here's the other. Steph and the Warriors, Şengün and the Rockets. Game 7 winner gets Minnesota. Pick it up late in the first quarter. Warriors are down a deuce. And watch that win, man. Look at that pass over his head by Steph Curry.
I guess they could have practiced that, but I would doubt it.
It's Steph with a little casual behind-the-head flip, and that was setting a tone for Buddy Hield. He had himself a night. How about the range here, Windman?
You knew when this went in, this was going to be a special night for Buddy Hield.
Warriors up 4 after 1. Minute and a half remaining in the second quarter. The Warriors lead is 11. And you mentioned it, Hield, 6 threes in the first half. Warriors have a 14-point lead. Final half minute of the first half, Steph hadn't scored till he knocks down that 3. His only 3 points of the first half, but the Warriors have a 12-point lead. Third quarter, here comes Houston, making that run at home as you would expect. It is Thompson for the slam. It's a 9-point game, and then it's Jabari Smith Jr., and the Rockets are going to be within 3 on this 3.
Absolutely. You knew they were going to make the run at home, and Amen Thompson grew up so much in this series. Huge third-quarter push from him.
And yet, every time they raised a question, Golden State had an answer. That's Jimmy Butler from the corner. It's a 8-point Warriors lead after 3. Fourth quarter, same score. Steph driving. Good. Warriors by 10. Mr. Inside. We know him, of course, he's Mr. Outside. Step back 3. Okay, Steph is getting hot. Warriors by 13. Just over 8 minutes to go in the fourth. Warriors lead by 7. Draymond Green for Buddy Hield. Continuing his hot night. It's a 10-point game. In the next possession, look how hard Steph Curry works for this bucket.
If he beats the double team at midcourt, you are in trouble, and he did that exactly that.
3 minutes left in the fourth. It's Steph again. He had 14 of his 22 in the fourth quarter. Yeah, he gave you the official night on the last Buddy Hield.
But I declared it over there.
That's right.
It was over there.
Windy ended it on the previous one. Steph gives it to you there. Hield 33 points, 9 threes, tied for the most in Game 7 history. Steph and the Warriors advance.
You've won 5 series now in Houston. What you think your reputation is in the city?
I'm a winner.
Well, sometimes the simplest responses are the best. Shanae looks pained in the moment. I should mention Shanae, of course, is from Houston. The Rockets had an incredible season. It comes to an end last night, as so many great seasons have, up against Steph Curry and the Warriors. What's the first thing to say about this game, Shanae?
Painful for me and my Houston roots, but this is the Golden State Warriors. I mean, strength in numbers is back. And I do think that the difference maker truly has been Jimmy Butler, because he raised the competitive floor, for the Golden State Warriors. He's holding so many different players accountable, also taking some of the load off of Steph Curry. And also we're watching him mentor Buddy Hield in real time over the course of the series. The Rockets have gotten to where they have gotten, second, in the West through their defense. And what you saw was a defense that was trying to disrupt. They ran zone. The Rockets did. Well, guess what? They had a zone buster in Buddy Hield. He knocked down 5 out of 6, shots from that zone defense. And so you're starting to see the strength and numbers come from different players than we historically have known for Golden State.
Yeah, it's an almost ridiculous statistic. Buddy Hield had 33 points on 15 field goal attempts last night. If you're going to get efficiency like that, they're going to be very tough to beat. Butler plays well. Steph steps up in the fourth quarter. Jay Will, your thoughts as the Warriors survive through Game 7?
Greeny and Wendy and Shanae, on the macro level, I'll say this. This is why we judge stars differently, especially in Game 7s. When the odds are stacked up against you, injured thumb, being face guarded, being blitzed on every ball screen, the level of physicality, getting raked down on his hands, and Steph Curry didn't fold. He finished. Some stars sell shoes. Steph sells nightmares when he puts you to sleep. Think about his last 3 Game 7s. Shanae, you ready for these stats? 33, 9, and 8 with a plus 54 and plus minus. Are you kidding me, Greeny? Legendary type stuff.
He actually becomes the oldest player ever to lead a team throughout a playoff series in points, rebounds, and assists. I'll say that again. He led his team in all 3 of those categories in this series and becomes the oldest player in NBA history to do that for any team in any playoff series. Wendy.
Yeah, the thing that blew me away by Steph yesterday was what he did besides score. 10 rebounds. I believe it was the first double-double for the Warriors in this series, and it belonged to Steph Curry. 10 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. and just 2 turnovers. Steve Kerr before this game was saying, with peace and love, Steph, please stop turning the ball over because it was killing them the last couple of games. He took care of the ball, and then it was Buddy Hield playing the role of Steph Curry. Steph was sort of like the glue guy, and it was Hield who played that role, which nobody expected, not even Buddy Hield. But that was obviously a difference maker. If you're going to win a Game 7 on the road, you need a role player to step up. That's what happened. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention Draymond Green was a demon on the defensive end in this game. The Warriors we had it up there a second ago, just 3 of 17 shooting. He was a primary defender. He terrorized Alperen Şengün in this game, just 9 of 23 shooting. Put that together, you get a Game 7 win on the road. The Warriors survive and advance.
The Warriors win a Game 7 on the road in which they got a combined total of 3 points off of their bench, which is, we sat here all of last week and talked about how the Lakers didn't have depth. The Lakers didn't have anything coming off their bench. The Warriors didn't get anything off their bench last night and still won.
Yeah, and I do think this is going to be an issue in the next round against the Wolves because the Wolves had terrific depth in that series against the Lakers, and the Wolves have great size, and size is going to be an issue for the Warriors too. They'll worry about that tomorrow. Last night, they got what they needed.
Yeah, they don't have a lot of time to worry about it because tomorrow is when that series starts. We'll dive into those, but Shanae, let's get a quick to sort of put a ribbon on the season of the Rockets. They are a team, they've got a terrific coach. They got a lot of really good young players. But there are a lot of people who will look at that team and say they're one big piece away. They're one like major star away. And I won't say the name. I'm curious to hear if you'll say the name. Who is the player they should be trying to get during this offseason to try and take the next step?
I'll give you 2, right? I'll give you probably the more logical choice, and then it's me shooting my shot as someone who is a Houston native with a phone number that starts with 281. So the first one is Kevin Durant. That is obvious. Yeah. If we all know where this Rockets team struggled, it was offensively. They could not buy a bucket at times. KD fixes that. And the good news is that you have a lot of young core pieces like Jamari Smith Jr., Jalen Green, that might be attracted to other places, and you have options with your picks moving forward. So they're in a pretty decent position to be able to shoot their shot at someone on the outside to help get them over the hump in the playoffs for moments like this. Now, the other one that I'm manifesting, and now I'll say, you guys, I believe he's loyal to the soil. But if there's a shot at Giannis, I feel like that would be a good fit as well. Obviously it's Giannis. He's a walking 30-12 on 60% shooting. But based off of what we saw with Milwaukee, if there's any time at the age of 30 for him to leave, maybe he's thinking about it. And this is more of my heart, not my head. If Giannis looks elsewhere, we know he's trained with the legend, Hakeem Olajuwon. There's respect for the foundation of basketball excellence that Houston had 30 years ago. Now that's been a long time, but we're looking for a star to bring us back to a mountaintop. Again, this is me personally shooting my shot. I believe Giannis is extremely loyal, but I wouldn't be surprised if Houston is going to look outside and be like, maybe we can look at these 2 types of players.
Well, Whitney, I was expecting her to say Kevin Durant. The Giannis of it all is interesting. Talk me through Houston's offseason.
Okay, first, everything, we're going to be talking more about this as the week goes on. Next Monday is a massive day on the NBA calendar. That is the Cooper Flag Lottery. Even though the Rockets were the number 2 seed in the West this year, they have a 3% chance of winning the lottery and a 17% chance of getting to the top 4, courtesy of a pick they own of the Phoenix Suns. But before you think about that, let's see what happens in the lottery next week with the Rockets. Yes, the Rockets have assets. Yes, they need scoring. This is obvious. Kevin Durant is 36, 37 years old. That is on the record. Their general manager, Rafael Stone, has said if they make an acquisition, they're looking for players who match the age of their group. This group is young. They're in their mid-20s. They're under control for a long time. There's a connection between Kevin Durant and Ime Udoka. They were together in Brooklyn. They have a good relationship. Yes, the Rockets own a bunch of the Suns' assets, including that draft pick in this year's draft. But making the assumption that just means that they would go for Durant, I do not think is what the signals that this organization has sent out in recent months.
And I just want to finish up the point you made a minute ago. We're looking at, this is going to be the summer of Giannis, right? There's going to be a lot of speculation about what he might do, and Shanae brings it up. If they all of a sudden have a lottery pick, if all of a sudden they have, let's say they don't get the first pick. If they get the first pick, they'll probably just take Cooper Flag and get on with their lives. But if let's say they get the 4th pick or something like that, that feels like something